All right, so it is that time. Mortal Kombat 1 has been out for a couple of days now, and there are new players picking up the game because, you know, they're like, oh, Mortal Kombat, I used to play that when I was a kid on the PlayStation 2. Well, luckily for you, I've been playing fighting games majority of my life, and usually the first few days I try to figure out certain things that can help people get better on the early end, and then later I'll, you know, come out with a little bit more advanced tips if you're ready for that. But today I have 3 quick things that you should definitely be applying to Mortal Kombat. Number 1 is you need to hit that subscribe button. Number 2 is hit that like button. Number 3, comment down below. All right, thanks for tuning in. But for real, the number 1 thing I would say a lot of people might not know at a lower level is fatal blows, right? Certain characters have different fatal blow animations that hit low, medium, or an overhead, and you need to know how to block it, because let's say you're in that tight pinch, you're both low, 25% HP, they hit you with a fatal blow, you block low, you didn't know it was the overhead, and now you lose the game. So luckily I went last night, had to go do a lot of select player, had to see this screen, and I can tell you everybody's fatal blow, as well as some other things that are very important to know. So starting from, we're gonna go each block, so we're gonna go like 8, and then these 8, and then the other 7. So Katana is a mid that has really good aerial hitbox as well. Melina is a mid. Tanya's is a mid. Reigns is a mid. Reiko's is a grab, and if you jump it, he can actually grab you out of the air. So it's kind of unblockable in a way. Sindel is a mid. General Shao's is an overhead into a mid, and Shang Tsung's is a mid. So if you're wondering what I'm saying, like mid, what does that mean? That means if you, as long as you're blocking, crouch blocking or stand blocking, and they're mids, you'll just block it. If it's an overhead, like how General Shao starts, he throws his axe in the air, comes out as an overhead, hits the ground, and it's a mid. You have to stand block it in order to block it, and then the mid just stand blocking. And Reiko's you cannot block because he grabs your ass. Next, Smoke is an overhead, so you have to be stand blocking. If you're crouch and blocking, Smoke will hit you. Then we have mid, overhead for Reptile again. Kung Lao is the only character with a low fatal blow. His fatal blow starts from low to mid. So you get the, as long as you're crouch blocking, you'll block the low and then block the mid. Johnny Cage is very interesting. His fatal blow is a parry, meaning if he hits fatal blow and you hit him with any button or even your fatal blow, he will counter it, land his fatal blow. On the other aspect, if he does his fatal blow and he holds down the button, Johnny's gonna do a little dance, right? Johnny's gonna do a little dance. If you let him complete that dance and you're still in range and he punches you, it's a mid, but it's also unblockable, right? So you have to make space and then just whip punish it. But the funny part is that if Johnny's dancing, he can also special cancel his fatal blow and dash forward because he knows that you're waiting to punish him. Very interesting to know that. Yeah, remember, he has a parry as his initial fatal blow. Then if he holds it, it's unblockable, and then he can also special cancel it. Liu Kang's is an overhead. Raiden's is a mid. And then over here we have mid. Here's teleports, still a mid though. And then Havoc is an overhead, Natara is an overhead, and Astra is an overhead, right? So if you're wondering how to block them, that's how you block it. If it's a mid or a low, you can... If it's a mid, you can block high or block low. If it's a low, you have to block low. If it's an overhead, you have to block high. The other thing that I want to show you, we'll deal with Scorpion and Smoke. It doesn't really like matter. Corruptive forward nice. The other thing that's very important, I think that, and this honestly is kind of bad. So if you look at, let's make him block all. So if you look at the move list, right, this is very important, the move list. But let's say you go to special moves. You go to Scorpion's Fatal Blow. You press X or square, depending on, you know, what controller you're on. And you see that it says start up frame 1, block minus 11, which means if they block it, you're only minus 11. And you're like, what? That's crazy. There's no way. And then you do it. Oh, I gotta make sure that you're set to 1 HP. That needs to refill. Right, he blocks it. You're like, oh, okay. That didn't really feel like minus 11. I really felt stuck there. Well, the unfortunate part is that a lot of these moves, for some reason within the game, are wrong when it comes to the frame data. The way to see the real frame data is to go to practice settings. Right here where it says frame data, left being player 1 side, right being player 2 side, or both being both of you. You can press that, put that on, and then now, okay, and then now when I do his fatal blow, you'll see right there in the recovery, or the block advantage, I'm actually minus 44, not minus 11. I think what happened was the person putting it in fat fingered the 44 by like just hitting 1-1, because maybe they were just going through it like super quick. Maybe they got like some high school kid on the side of filling in the, like an Excel spreadsheet and nobody double checked it. So it's very important to understand when there's also 127 frames of startup, and if you look at the move list, it's supposed to be 1 frame of startup. So some of these are wrong. So recommend you actually go in to because this right here, blazing charge, is 1 startup, and then you do it's actually 13 startup, and it has minus 21 on block, but the game's telling you that it's 0 on block, right? It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad, right? So that's the number 2 step, is to actually go into training mode and figure out what is what, because this advanced view is made for people like me, right, who like really deep dive into the game, like, oh, what's this? What's the frame data? What's the frame data? But alas, a lot of it is wrong. So I assume they'll fix it. So if they do fix it, then unfortunately this tip, kind of withers away. But for right now, you should definitely do it. The other thing I want to talk about is we talked about blocking, crouch blocking, but it's also up blocking, right? You can also up block. You can't hold it, but you can, as you see, Scorpion kind of like looks up. A little up block, and you can't like mash it. Like there's like a tied animation to it. What this does is it kind of beats the shit out of overheads. And now that you know that Smoke's fatal blow is an overhead, right? When you block it, normally you're all the way back here, right? You're like, oh man, I'm all the way back here. What the hell do I do? But if Smoke's about to attack you and you up block, you get no pushback. As you see, no pushback. Which means, I don't know a Scorpion combo, I play Smoke. Which means you can just get a big boy combo. We'll just do that. We'll do that combo. Or let's say you're feeling frisky, right? You can grab. You can block it and then immediately do your fatal blow while they're recovering. Right? Now this is, like I said, this only works in the overhead ones. But this is very important to understand, right? And right now, I would say those are just like 3 tips I would just recommend for new players to understand. Is how to, is what to block, like when it comes to the fatal blows, because fatal blows are a very beginner, beginner spammy move. I feel like when you get anybody low on HP and they see that fatal blow, left trigger, right trigger, blinking, right, something your friend, your cousin, your little brother, right, might want to do is just mash that bitch. But oh, and look at that, punish me. And the other one is understanding move data. Now this is more important for like if you go offline, or if you go offline, or I mean if you go online, right, and you fight people, you're like, wait, what block string did he do? He did this. How do I punish that? And then you go into training mode and you look it up. And then the third one with the overhead block is certain characters just have overhead moves. Here I can let me see if I can make them do this. Oop, that's just an overhead by Smoke that he has. Block it and then love left. Punish, right? Punish throw. So yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in for this video. I greatly appreciate it. Make that subscribe button, comment down below, leave a like if it helps you. If you want anything else for me to break down, I gladly will. I love helping people, help people in Street Fighter 6. Now I'm here to help people in Mortal Kombat 1, and I'll see y'all again in the next video. See ya.